everyone, and welcome to the Vintage Needle Crafter. My name is Laura. Welcome back, returning subscribers, and welcome new viewers. This is my little corner where I love to sit down and discuss all things knit and crochet. So I am back home now in Illinois. Loved my vacation in Oklahoma. It's beautiful down there. It was starting to heat up quite a bit down there, so I thought, well, now is a good time to come back up to Illinois, and the heat followed me. Today, it's not going to be too hot. We're going to be in the mid-80s, and we've been having a lot of thunderstorms come through. Usually I'll get up in the morning and open the windows and let the cool air in and air out the house, and then the heat will be on and we'll have the ACs going. So I am back, and I missed all of you. I'm back in my usual place. My son rearranged a little bit when I was gone, but that's all right. He left my chair in the usual place, so we're just going to go with it and film in the usual spot, which is the front guest room. So, alrighty, I have quite a bit to share with you today. I did start some new projects, and a couple of things I laid aside will be worked on later. I got my sweater and my shawl over there drying because when I first left for Oklahoma, I wore that sweater that I made from Drops Andes and also my mohair shawl. So the way I wash my woolens is I will soak them in cold water with a half a cap full of Woolite overnight, and that releases the dirt and everything and the grime, and then I just rinse them twice in cool water, not agitating them because you don't want to do that, they'll felt. And then just roll them up in a towel, squeezing out the water, and I've just got them laying on a towel in here to dry. Probably should put a fan on them in a little while. They had the morning breeze blowing on them, but I wasn't going to turn you around to see that. It's just a couple of sweaters drying. So I'm having myself some sweet tea, and I got this tea a little over a year ago. It's called Y'all Sweet Tea. I'm not sponsored, affiliated, or anything like that. You can get it online. I think the Duck Dynasty program that's on TV, Uncle Si, he has this advertised, and I thought it was good. It is the peach flavored one. Y'all Sweet Tea. Very, very good tea. I'm just letting you know. I'm not sponsored or affiliated or anything, but just wanted to tell you what I'm drinking. Got my garden finished up. My son really done a wonderful job with helping me while I was on vacation. He planted pretty much everything. The only thing I put in now that I got back up here home is I put in some cucumbers and I put in some okra. But I don't know about the okra because the seeds are pretty old. They're pretty old seeds. And then I have a flower box out front of our property. Here's a couple pictures. My son got me some petunias for Instamatic color. There was some flower seeds planted there, but it got cold and a lot of them died off. A few of them are coming up, but I thought, nope, it just needs something more. So he got his mama some petunias, which was very nice. They're one of my favorite flowers. My second favorite flower is zinnias because I love the cut flower ability that those produce. They make excellent cut flowers for vases. They last a good long time, at least a week. So I love those, and I got some coming up in the garden that my son planted for me, so I'm not zinnialess. Also, what he did out back is he made a beautiful walk path with the mulch. We had this area where we used to have goats a long time ago, and there's a pasture out there that was just growing wild plants and a few trees. Well, he turned that into a walk path with mulch. He has a iron table with 2 chairs. So it's a beautiful place to go out there that's not too woodsy and not weedy, but yet a shady little nook to have some morning coffee. It's private. It's just wonderful. If I get time, I'll walk out there and insert some footage in this video. If not, well then maybe next time. I was going to pause it, but no. Okay. If I do go out and put it, I'll put it at the end of the video. Sometimes I won't break the video up for things, and sometimes I will. Well, I had a little sad news when I came home. My cat, Tony, disappeared, never to return. It's been 3 weeks now, and we have not seen him. The other cat keeps calling for him. But he was the orange and white kitty that you saw in my videos last summer. They're a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun filming with those 2 cats. So we just have the 1 cat now, and he's quite depressed. He needs a little friend, so we're working on getting another kind of smallish cat. We're thinking maybe a half-grown kitten, so they won't fight or anything. We don't want any lady kitties here because we don't want a lot of kitties because they're mainly outdoor kitties. And I don't want to start that. So we're looking for a male kitten, kind of maybe half-grown kitten for him so he'll have a friend. This is so good. And then I just sweeten it with some, I had a can of peach nectar that was in the fridge. I added that, and then a little bit of cane sugar. And what else am I doing today? Well, I'm doing some cleaning, and I'm working on sourdough. The kids almost wanted to throw away my sourdough starter when I was going, and I told them, don't you dare throw away my sourdough starter. If you've got one going for a while and you stored it in the fridge, which you have to, you can't leave it on the counter for a long period of time. When you put it in the fridge, it goes dormant, and this gray liquid, this dark gray liquid will form on the top. That's called the hooch. It's a funny name, but that preserves it. So I just pour off like 90% of that, leaving a little in. Last night, about 7 o'clock, I fed it well and went to bed. And this morning, it was so wild that it almost blew the top off the quart mason jar. So I started it and I've got it kneaded, and I'm just letting that rise as I'm filming. Now, all right, I've talked long enough, about 8 minutes, so I'm going to get started. Okay, last time you saw that I was working on a project with this roving, beautiful gold-colored roving. This is Corriedale, and I got this from Amazon, 8 ounces in here. And I started different projects. I think I showed you this. It was a Sophie scarf that I was wanting to turn into a shawl. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way it was looking with all its little bumps, ridges, thin spots, thick spots. It wasn't the right project for the roving. And by the way, I'm not spinning this. I'm just knitting the roving, having fun with that. But I started something else, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see very well the stitches, but I'm making a knitted shawl with it, and I'm just going to use all of the roving until it's all gone. See how big this gets. There it is, and once it gets blocked and stretched, it will open up and fluff out more. I'm just randomly making up my own little pattern as I go along with the lace and everything like that. Oh, my face is getting red in here. That's because I have the door shut and the AC is not in here. So it's getting a little warm. But there's that. I'm knitting this on a US size 8 knitting needle. And I took it out because I wanted to knit something else. I want to do something else. I made a headband. That's somewhere. I think it's out there. But I posted it and you saw it. I think I had it. I was wearing it when I made my post on my channel. That was the last, almost the last few days I was in Oklahoma, by the way. And I was in southern Oklahoma, almost in Texas. So beautiful down there. Absolutely beautiful. Roving hills, woods, trees. Here in Illinois, where I am, we're flat. And you can see for miles, which is nice. But we have a lot of corn around us, cornfields. So it's flat. There's not a lot of trees. But anyway, that's that. Corriedale wool, gold color, US size 8, random lace pattern. And I'm going to be just frogging this as I knit this. Then I have some more here. I've got about 5 ounces left of this. So, and it wasn't too expensive. Plus I have this little piece in here. I was starting to crochet with it, but I didn't like that either. It just took me a while to figure out what I really wanted to make with it. And I'm not in any hurry to finish this. It's an autumnal shade, so it can be made during the summer months and be ready for fall. All right, now I got some new yarn when I was down there, and I brought it back home with me. I love this. I saw this on Amazon and I thought, woo, those are my colors. Look at that. Those are my favorite 70s colors. We've got gold. We've got a pale sunlight yellow. We've got a cream color. We've got peach. We've got rust. I love the color rust. And it makes these beautiful giant granny squares. I get 4.7. Almost get 5, not quite. But I have a plan what I'm going to do with that last square that's not quite full. I'm going to sew them all together and maybe make like a table runner or something else with it. But I'll show you these. I have quite a few done. Put them in this bag. These are gorgeous. Gorgeous. I'm going to sew them together and make an afghan for the back of the couch. Here's the one that I didn't finish. That's all the yarn that was in that one. So, but here is one of the full ones. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, great thumbnail there. I got new glasses, by the way. I like these. Well, actually, they're borrowed from a friend. So, yeah. Because mine broke. And the need was there. So anyway, they don't look bad on me, do they? But anyway, this is recommended a 5mm crochet hook, which I have over here. I think, does it recommend a 5 or 5.5? Let me see. And it's not too hard. 5.5 millimeters recommended for this. It's a 4-weight acrylic from Red Heart. I'm not affiliated. It's called Granny Square Grande. Big granny squares. 5.5 crochet hook. Yep, this looks almost exactly the same one that was my mother's. That got dropped down through the porch crack, and there's no way to get under there and get that, so it's forever lost. I thought I would make a funny little short about that. I cried. I cried when that fell. And I knew it was a possibility that it could happen, but still I went out there and crocheted because I love sitting out there on the porch in the middle of the woods. Yeah, by fault. But anyway, I found this one on Etsy with 3 more vintage hooks. And this is a Boyi. So it's a little newer than my mom's, maybe by 8 years, 10 years maybe, but that's all right. I'm not into vintage collecting hooks. But these are so nice. And if you get to where you're going in around and making your square, and the pattern is on the label, by the way. And I paid, I'm sorry, I started one sentence and went to something else. I paid $20 for 3 skeins of that, and they are a 12-inch square each, 4.7 squares from each skein. There they are. They're all the same, pretty much. 3, there's 4, and over here I've got some more. Put that down for a moment. Here I'm working on this one, finishing up this skein here. I got one here. It's nice because they leave you a nice generous tail. So just follow the instructions on that, and sometimes if it don't quite line up right here, I had a little extra yarn. Either just tighten or loosen the tension, and you'll get it. You'll get it. If you're not quite got enough, tighten your tension down. Go pull way back and then tighten it down. Or if you've got too much, then pull back and loosen the tension. Just loosen your tension. Loosen or tighten, that's what you do. I'm going to stack these up together. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's down here. 7. I'll probably get one more 8, and then I'll get 12. I'll get 12, and then I'll have 3 of these here, which will be, you know, a nice little something to put on a table, or make a nice little coffee mat. Being that they're plastic, they make great, you know, mug rugs. Or you could, for a fun, how about this for an idea? For a fun design, you could take 1 for the front, 1 for the back, and crochet all around and make yourself a cute little top. That's a possibility too. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, working in the evening with those. I just saved this bag that the yarn came in, storing them in there. Yeah, I love those 70s colors. And my living room has got rust orange curtains with a carpet that's got diamonds on it, that's rust, gold yellow, country blue, and forest green. Really pretty. And then on my sofa, I've got my vintage colored chevron blanket. So it goes in there perfectly. And I kind of got sick the last few days a little bit. I had this boil that was on the back of my shoulder, and it got infected, and I almost had to end up in the ER because it was massively huge. It was making me terribly fatigued. But a friend of mine told me, get hydrogen peroxide and just keep putting on that, and then putting a warm compress, and that's what I done. So if you ever get a really, really bad boil, this was a carbuncle, which is a boil that has seeds that have 3 or 4 more boils around it. Terrible, terrible thing. I just put a warm, wet compress full of hydrogen peroxide and just kept putting on it until it loosened enough to where it started to drain. Then I just kept pouring the peroxide on it and then covering it with a large bandage. But now it's down to, it's not draining anymore. Thankfully, it's healing. And I just have a small Band-Aid on it that I put on morning and then evening. But with my skin, what happened was those big Band-Aids, they left a terrible rash around there. So I've been having to treat that with some of my homemade facial cream. But that's healing. So that was my little back set. But I'm fine now. Everything's fine. We're all okay. All right. I got something that I'm crocheting too with cotton. Very nice. I'm making myself, making myself a dish towel. Isn't that pretty? It's the, I'm not sure what they call the stitch. Is this the seat stitch? Oh, I'm not I can do the stitches, but sometimes my mind forgets the name of the stitch. Maybe seed stitch. If I look it up, I'll put the name of it here. But what I done, the little trick with this, and I'm using, this is a cotton linen blend. This is vintage cotton, 100% cotton. It's a 3-weight. And then I'm just using some dishcloth cotton for the other strand. And I've got 3 strands, and that's the trick. You have, when you start at the bottom, and then you've got 1 strand over here. And then when you get to the end of the row, you put on another strand here, and then you add the 3rd strand, and then you're picking up different colored strand as you're going. And it makes a really unique, pretty design. Very, very pretty design. Just a simple single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1. Whatever that's called. Whew, getting warm. Getting warm. Whew. So I'm going to finish that up with however much I've got here. Hopefully it'll get at least this long, towel size. I needed a new kitchen towel. And the crochet hook size I'm using for that is a 4.25 crochet hook. Now this is another one that came in that set from Etsy. It's a little bit worse for wear on the tip. And it says, it's a Boy Hook USA. But I noticed there's some deep scratches in this one, and the paint is wearing off. So, but anyway, I'm using it. Now, for knitting, I've got some knitting going on. I showed you the knitting thing for that shawl. I'm starting that lace one with the roving. This is something I left in Illinois, so I have not picked it back up yet. This is, let's see, here's the back. I'm making another sweater with some simple, basic parchment colored yarn. Isn't this a pretty design? Do you like that? Well, I have a free 3-part tutorial, step-by-step, to show you how to make this sweater. I call it my version ranunculus. It's sort of like the ranunculus that's been out there for years, but not exactly the same. It's my own version that I came up with because I couldn't purchase the pattern on Etsy or anywhere, which made me, no, it wasn't Etsy. Etsy's fine. No, it was Ravelry, which I'm done. I am done with Ravelry. Any of you out there had any bad experiences with Ravelry? I just don't like it. I've been snubbed over there. A long time ago, I came up with some vintage remakes that I'd done from a 1940s magazine. They told me I was copying and that I didn't come up with that. And I told them, well, I didn't come up with it. It's from a 1940s magazine called The Work Basket. It's not even my pattern, but after that, then I could no longer purchase anything or anything. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Maybe, maybe not. But I just didn't feel welcomed there. I just didn't like it. Everybody has their own opinions of Ravelry, and that's just my opinion. Some of you who love Ravelry, go for it. Wonderful. That's wonderful. Me, it's just my experience, and, well, that's just my experience. Not everything in life will go the way we'd like it to go. But anyway, check that out. It's my version ranunculus, and I'm working the yoke. And I've got the yoke all finished. For sizing, you just make more stitches and just keep going longer, like in the arms here. The yarn I'm using is acrylic yarn, and it is a good acrylic yarn. And I had the label. Where did I set it down at? Oh, is this it? Oh, Oh, no, it fell on the floor. Okay, Yarn Smiths Create. This is a very affordable yarn over at Wool Warehouse. And it is in the colorway Parchment, which is 3060. These have 290 meters or 317 yards. That's a 3-weight acrylic. Very nice yarn, very soft, not scratchy. I have more in my stash, and I will be picking this back up probably sometime in the near future. Whenever don't have anything else too much going. So I don't like having 15 projects going at once, because that's nice and all, and yeah, it will save you from boredom, definitely. But the only thing with that is nothing gets finished. You're going from one thing to the next and the next and the next without finishing things, and I like to finish things. Oh, I'm sorry. US size 10 knitting needle for that. US 10. And it's a ChiaoGoo 47-inch circular. That's my needle of choice, preference. I'm also got another sweater going on. I messed this up. With the same yarn in bottle green. This is a sweater for my son, who loves green. It's nowhere. I showed it a few podcasts ago. It's just my own pattern. It's an all-over cabled cardigan sweater. So as it gets further along, I'll show you more. Down here, once I got further along in the yoke, I widened the cable. Instead of 3, I did 4 on each side. So make it wider and the cable bigger as it goes down the yoke. It's about 8 inches on the yoke. I have a couple more inches. I don't want to make this any bigger than 10 inches on the yoke because, well, he's not as large as I am. He's very slender, tall and slender. So Yarnsmiths Create Bottle Green. Number on that is 3208. Wool Warehouse. This is a US size 9 knitting needle. All right. Now for that towel that I'm making, I am using just lots of scrap yarn. So that's a good scrappy project if you want something to make for your kitchen or anything that's just using up scraps, little bits. And I've got a tangled mess in there. I'll probably be using that because I'm just picking out colors that'll go with it. Here's a good one that I can add in there. What else? Got so much to choose from in here. Here's one that's tangled. Whoop. Here's one that's tangled. Pull that out of there. See, that's just a little scrappy piece. And I'm putting it on the 3rd strand, the strand that has the... No, I don't want to take it back over here. I'm like, drops the yarn. Whoops, I'm sorry. The strand that's... I can't see it. The strand that's right here. That's the 4-weight kitchen cotton right there. And I just pulled out my stitch. I'll fix it. But over here's the 3-weight, and then I've got the linen cotton over here. Now, what I want to do in the future, I want to get away from something. I want to get away from blended yarns. Because I discovered, and a friend of mine told me this, it's not good to have blended yarn. Now, I know a lot of us will buy like cotton acrylic or cotton linen or cotton wool. It's best to go single because one fabric, because cotton is health beneficial as well as wool and linen and flax. But what you want to do is have it single. I think the Bible mentions something about that too, about do not mix certain fabrics together or certain garments together or whatever. But it cancels each other out. Yeah, so if you want to use linen, try 100% linen, cotton, 100% cotton, wool, 100% wool. But everybody's different and they like their own preference. That's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to be more singular with the yarns, like acrylic, all 100% acrylic, nothing else. Although I do like a acrylic wool blend, but I'm going to get away from that now. I don't see any more in here I could put in that. There's all different colors in here. So many different. So many different. This is all cotton. Most of it's kitchen cotton. There's only a little bit of fabric. And then I've got another one that's Drops Cotton Light. So I've got that too. I don't see... Oh, here's one. This will be pretty in there. Some blues. Bring in some blue. It's got some pink. So we set that over there. Then I still have this cone I've had for... I think I've had this 7 years. Long time, long time. Here's some minted green. Maybe for that. Some purple blended one. No, that's a little too blue. So anyway. And I got these little tubs from Dollar Tree a few years back. And they just set in my room. I've got a painted postcard from a famous painting. I think that's called The Gleaners. Yes. From Jean-Francois Smollett. I thought it was cute to put in there, but yep. So that's everything I got going on. Gardening is doing great. Everything's coming up. I'll try to get some footage in maybe next time. I'm still a little bit fatiguey and recovering from being home. I've only been home for 2 days, so I'm still catching up on things and doing other things. So, well, with that being said, I'm going to let you all go now, and I want you to have a wonderful week. Stay cool if it's hot. If not, get out and enjoy the summertime, so it'll pass by all too quickly. Oh, I didn't show you my book I got. Sorry, I've just about closed the video out without talking about it. I got this little book on Thrift Books. It's a little devotional, and I loved it. It's for plant ladies like myself. It's called Playing in the Dirt, 90 Devotions for Crazy Plant Ladies. Well, I'm a plant lady, but I'm not crazy. But inside it's just got daily little devotion, little something short to read. And then a friend of mine stopped by and let me borrow this. She said, just pass it on when I'm finished. This one is The Bible in 52 Weeks, a year-long study for women. So thank you, sister, for the loan on this. I haven't started it yet, but will soon. Definitely. All right. Well, all of you take care and have a wonderful week, and I will see you again on the next podcast. Bye, friends.